Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Recommendations to Your Excellency inquiry into the accident involving Malawi Air Force Donia 228-202K, registration number MAF-T03 at Ntungwa, Nkatabe on 10th of June 2024. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Amene amayankhulawo ndi wapampando wa komiti yapadera imene imafufuza za ngozi ya ndege Justice Jaba Alide, ndipo pakali pano iwo akupereka ripoti kwa mtsogoleri wa dziko lino Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, ndipo mtsogoleri wa dziko lino walandira ripoti imeneyi, ndipo tsopano anthu onse akukhala pansi.
Thank you, Justice Chairperson of the Commission of Inquiry. Your Excellency, I now have the honor to request Your Excellency to receive the report with your remarks. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Moses Kalangasha Kunkuyu, Minister of Information and Digitalization, Ms. Colleen Zamba, Secretary of the President and Cabinet, His Lordship Justice Jaba Alide, Chairperson of the Commission, and all the commissioners here present, Secretaries to the Commission, Mr. Prince Kabonamganga, Chief of Staff for State Residencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of all Malawians, I wish to express my gratitude to all of you who have served tirelessly as members of the Commission of Inquiry into the aircraft accident that claimed the lives of our late Vice President, the Right Honorable Dr. Saulos Klaus Chilima, and 8 others. The work you have done since the day you were appointed has been painstaking and enormous, taking you across the length and breadth of the country, depriving you of time at your regular places of work and with your families, and demanding meticulous attention to the details and testimonies you received from 130 witnesses whose individual stories needed to be corroborated and verified. In addition, the work you've done has also exposed you to a lot of misunderstanding and abuse, not only because you have been investigating a politically sensitive subject that some will inevitably see as an occasion for political theater, but also because the nation's wounds from the tragedy have not yet fully healed. And it is understandable that some will still speak about you out of turn. But as mature citizens of Malawi entrusted with this enormous duty, I fully trust that you will not take those attacks to heart. And I want you to know that the sacrifices you have made in order to conduct this work are deeply appreciated, and that it is only proper that our first expression to you as a nation is one of deep gratitude for your service to country. Secondly, I wish to thank you also for carrying out my wishes to have the report read to the public before it is presented to me. I know that the tradition with commissions of inquiry in this country have been for the report to be presented to the president and then for the president to determine whether to make the report public. But I felt very strongly that out of respect and sensitivity for the trauma and grief that the country as a whole experienced from this tragedy, as well as out of respect for the wishes and calls of the bereaved families, for the inquiry to be conducted in a transparent manner, we needed to have a moment as a nation to hear your independent findings and recommendations directly from you before the report was presented to me or circulated among the citizens. I know that the reading of it took close to 5 hours, but I'm fully persuaded that it was necessary for us as a nation to have a singular moment of coming to terms with the truth, no matter how unpleasant or unpalatable that truth may be. Thirdly, even though I have not had opportunity to read the report, which I'll take time to do after this ceremony, I wish to direct that a hard copy of this report be delivered to each of the bereaved families who lost loved ones in that plane crash. And I'd like that to be done by close of business tomorrow. Following that submission, I'd like us to allow the families to have the whole weekend go through the report, and then from Monday next week you may go ahead and publish the report in several of our country's languages so that on top of the reading you did publicly last week, the public can have a chance to read the report for themselves. In the meantime, in my own reading of the report, I'll be paying special attention to the recommendations you've made, and I'll make known my decisions on the findings and recommendations in due course. Lastly, I know that for many of you, the tragedy of this plane crash involved personal losses, as there were people in that flight you considered friends and colleagues and whom you cared deeply about. As such, now that you have disposed of your duties as members of this Commission of Inquiry, allow me to close by addressing simply, as fellow Malawians who also experienced loss from this tragedy. And so my final word to you is to ask that you accept my deepest condolences on any losses that you yourself suffered from this tragedy. And I ask that all of you who are present here join me in observing a minute of silence in honor of those we lost. God bless you, and God bless Malawi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that remark. Your Excellency, right now, going through the program, next on the program is a group photograph, which is going to be directed, guided by our protocol team. Let me invite all the commissioners to stand and be guided by our protocol team for a group photograph. And thank you very much for the job well done. God bless you.
Mwambo wopereka ripoti limeneli ya ngozi ya ndege yomwe inapha amene anali wachiwiri kwa mtsogoleri wa dziko lino Dr. Saulos Klaus Chilima ndi anthu ena asanu ndi atatu pa 10 June 2024. Tsopano ukufika kumapeto, ndipo chomwe chatsala kuti chichitike ndi kutoletsa zithunzi. Ma commissioner amene anali mu komiti imeneyi limodzi ndi mtsogoleri wa dziko lino, ndipo pakali pano ma commissioner amenewa apita kutsogolo kuti akandande pamalo pamene atoletse zithunzi zimenezi, ndipo mtsogoleri wa dziko linonso tsopano akupita kutsogolo kumene akatoletse zithunzi zimenezi ndi makomishona amenewa, ndipo anthu ena onse ayimirira pamene zimenezi zikuchitika. Pakali pano mtsogoleri wa dziko lino tsopano wandanda limodzi ndi makomishona amenewa.
Osayiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.